don't think he can hear you. He's off on the island of irrelevancy, where we put him after WrestleMania.
But fast forwarding to the end of the show, as Rhodes made his entrance alongside Jey Uso to confront Paul and Cena, he came face to face with Seth Rollins, who was in the ring too, where Rollins whispers something to Cody. The question is, what did he whisper and what does this mean? I just hope it wasn't, "Cody, I want your soul." But this is clearly going to factor into Money in the Bank and possibly Raw on Monday. Perhaps Rollins will win the briefcase after all, and then Cody turns his back on Jey Uso, setting up for a cash-in so Rollins can become world champ again. Maybe it builds into the fact a month ago Rollins did the same taunt that The Rock did to signify the Cena heel turn. I don't know if I'd want to see this, but maybe Rollins and Rock are working together and they managed to corrupt Cody, which would be awfully ambitious to go ahead and turn your biggest babyface right now again, but hey, maybe that's where it's going. They've been building this soul thing for a while, and The Rock himself insists that it's going somewhere eventually.
It's not soul right now. Right now it's not. But by the way, we'll go back to it.
We'll still got it, yeah.
Maybe this all happens after Gunther dismantles Jey in the rage of losing again, setting up for a cash-in too. Hands on that night, so maybe Cody betrays Uso to pay back the favor. Maybe what Rollins whispered is, "You still owe me." Alternatively, you've got to assume Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Sami Zayn will factor into this somewhere too. Let me know what you think Rollins said to Cody and your thoughts on where this is all heading. The Smackdown before Money in the Bank opened up with Seth Rollins saying that anyone who stands in their way will end up the same way as Sami Zayn, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns. Rollins says he will take everyone into the future just as he has before. Nobody can stop him until he's interrupted by the bloodline. Solo Sikoa says nobody can stop you, huh? Well, we're here. I actually think this is one of the most entertaining Solo Sikoa promos I've ever seen. They let him breathe, he was comfortable, going on to call Seth's faction a faux bloodline. He questions if Braun Breaker is just main event Jey Uso and Bronson Reed is Sami Zayn. Then he talks to the wise man.
Long time, no see.
Solo says that he's taking all of the control and power that Rollins keeps talking about when he wins Money in the Bank. Seth responds by saying, "Are you insecure because your family would rather stab you in the back than have your back?" He basically says Solo is washed compared to Airbnb. Then things get even more heated as we see this showdown. I'm already seated for that match. Literally. After Rollins does the classic heel doesn't want to fight right now trope and leaves, Jimmy Uso comes out of nowhere again and takes out the Bloodline. And then we transition into a fun opener for Uso against Mateo, in which the Bloodline tries to distract Jimmy Uso, but Uso outsmarts them, leading to Mateo hitting Fatu off the apron, as Big Jim rolls him up for the win. Gotta say, really enjoying the increased Jimmy Uso screen time.
Hey, you're the problem. He's the problem. He's the problem, not me.
Next, the Women's United States Champion Zelina Vega runs into Giulia backstage again.
You are gonna have to pry it from my lifeless body, because I am not giving this up willingly.
You are confident.
Well.
Then just before a Bakersfield brawl featuring the Ciampa and Piper Niven, Damian Priest runs into Jacob Fatu backstage. Priest once again making his intentions known for the United States Championship.
Because if you don't take care of your business when it comes to me, and you back in the line with it, just like the rest of these suckers. Yada man.
I love the whole arc Jacob is going on right now to become a true babyface. I thought Piper and Zelina worked well together, and the small shining moments of character work from Piper Niven are always appreciated.
And this one might be the best of the bunch. Oh, the counter!
But at the end of the match, we see a freaking code red off the second rope to Piper.
Rope! Are you kidding me? Ah!
But it's no DQ, so Alba Fire and Chelsea Green take her out and stop the win. Piper then hits a flush Michinoku driver on the floor.
The ring as Niven slams down, sit out.
But ultimately, Giulia comes from the crowd to even the odds, taking out Fire and Green and then using a kendo stick to help Zelina put Piper through a table for the win.
Giulia's got a kendo stick in hand. Oh, wow! Stop it! Just in time!
After the match, seemingly Giulia was showing a little bit of respect for the United States Champion, but not so much.
But whoa! What is she doing?
You know what? To hell with it. Giulia US champ and Miss Money in the Bank. I've seen enough. After this, there's a backstage segment with Jay, Jimmy Uso, and Cody Rhodes, where they make sure that Jay is okay mentally with this weekend coming up. Jay says, "I'm alright, I'll worry about tomorrow. In the meantime, let's go find Cena and Paul." Then we see an Aleister Black promo where he continues to talk about LA Knight ahead of their match next up.
If you beat me, LA Knight, I will look you in the eyes. I will shake your hand, and I will admit defeat.
Then in the ring, LA Knight cuts a promo talking about everyone in Money in the Bank. He says this is his third time, so maybe the third time's the charm. Yeah! How sweet it would be for LA to win in LA. Yeah! Honestly, there's not a single part of me that would be mad at LA Knight winning that briefcase finally. I was there in 2023 when Damian Priest won.
Not like that!
It sure as hell should have been his time then, and it sure as hell should be his time now, with everybody saying, well, you get it. Yeah! But this Aleister Black match was fantastic. The back and forth action of these two men I thought worked really well. Unfortunately, we didn't get a winner. LA Knight hits a burning hammer, Black rolls out the ring, and then...
Wait a second! What in the world is Seth Rollins doing?
Then as Seth is about to stomp LA Knight again, he comes face to face with Aleister Black before he gets speared by Braun Breaker.
Another stomp. Oh, and Aleister Black is gonna confront him. Spear!
This was a showdown that I loved to see, given that Aleister Black has been selling that eye injury he suffered at the hands of Rollins and Murphy way back when for years now. Once again, the Rollins faction stands tall. And like I said after Raw, the scenario of Zayn or Punk costing him the match makes a lot of sense to me. And honestly, with the way everyone keeps bringing up Roman Reigns and we hear the OTC chants and Rollins is saying, oh, I put Reigns in the dirt, it wouldn't surprise me if Roman Reigns, Punk, and Zayn were the ones to go ahead and take the fight to all three of those men. It just feels like Rollins has had the upper hand far too much for him to still win. Although him always being one step ahead works into his character, so I guess we'll see. Next, we see Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce announce the return of the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments coming up.
The tournaments begin with 4 fatal 4-way matches in the men's and women's division.
From there, it becomes a co-branded singles competition with semifinals and the finals.
They take place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And Night of Champions.
The winners of their respective competitions will get title shots at SummerSlam. I really like this format, especially now that SummerSlam is 2 nights. Then Byron Saxton interviews Jade Cargill, who sets her sights on the tournament despite not quite making it to Money in the Bank. Then he asks her about Bianca Belair before they're interrupted by...
Either choose your friends wisely or don't have any at all. And if you think you're winning Queen of the Ring, you're gonna need a prayer. There's only one queen.
Legado del Fantasma then cut a final promo on Pagano, Psycho Clown, and Dr. Wagner before worlds collide. Santos says by taking out those 3, they will effectively be removing the heart and soul of the House of Lucha Libre.
A establecer a quien le pertenece el mundo de la lucha libre frente a nuestra gente, nuestro público, nuestro país, a la voz de 2 palabras. Legado. Familia. ¡Viva México!
Love it, love it, love it. Any increased shine and screen time for Legado del Fantasma, especially through these kinds of vignettes, please sign me up. Then we see another interview, this time with American Made.
The greatest luchador of all time, El Grande Americano, is gonna climb the ladder and take the briefcase home.
Then Andrade and Penta interrupt.
¿Al vikingo? Tú no tienes idea.
Sí.
¿Quién es el vikingo? Mira. Sí. Sí, ¿qué? ¿Sí qué?
I don't know how to explain it, but Andrade non-English promos kind of have a little sway, a little swagger to them. And I feel like if he could go ahead and transfer that charisma that he has when he's not speaking English to when he's speaking English, you might still have something there with Andrade. Like, I saw a vision here, they just gotta work on it a bit more. Eventually, this segment ends with Nick Aldis saying, you can settle this in the ring. Tiffany Stratton then says that she knows what it's like to win Money in the Bank as the youngest winner ever. Whoever wins the briefcase should enjoy the trending moment because WWE still runs on Tiffy time. Then she's interrupted by Rhea Ripley, who says, "I've never had to be in Money in the Bank because I've always had the gold and I miss it." Who, by the way, in Rhea Ripley had one of the greatest sells to a DDT I think I've ever seen.
She was looking for Riptide, but instead...
Eventually, Roxanne is deserted by her team, leading to a run of finishers and a Riptide for the win.
Problem, and now Bliss, and Vaquer, Riptide, Naomi left her alone.
I just want to go ahead and point out the way Rhea Ripley looked after the match in this screenshot, and
I'm gonna fight all these urges, my brother.
JC, my man, you worry too much. Listen, he loves me. He does. And by the way, one thing about Jacob, he's not all the way that smart in the head.
Solo continues by saying this about Jacob Fatu.
All this man does is just think about himself. All gas and no brains. I got it under control.
Yeah, you just fucked up. I'm finding this Bloodline story more compelling by the week. I'll be so real, I stopped caring so much for Solo after the prime of the Bloodline story. He just wasn't being allowed to do much, nor did I feel like he was that entertaining compared to when he was in NXT. But let me tell you, that man recently has been hilarious. I honestly think there's an avenue here where he goes back to being the street champ eventually and wins a Royal Rumble. I'm so serious. I think it's time for me to officially say it. I love you, Solo. Then we see a really strong promo from Uncle Howdy.
Your brotherhood will be tested. The time for repentance has passed. Accept your condemnation. Accept your condemnation. We will not be forgotten.
Followed by the tag division, who realize that they need to be on the same page to deal with the Wyatt Six. Frexium say they're gonna be the ones to go and deal with the Wyatt Six, and Johnny says, go ahead. And then Motor City Machine Guns say the same thing, and Candice, Tommaso, and Johnny are like, sure, go ahead. Then we cut back to the ring for Andrade and Penta against American Made, where Gable is trying to once again rip off the mask of Penta.
Trying to rip his mask off.
And Vikingo, who isn't supposed to be in the match, now attacking Gable once again.
Vikingo!
Chad Gable is chased off by Vikingo as Andrade hands out some stiff back elbows, followed by a Mexican Destroyer from Penta for the win.
To his feet, he receives a back elbow as well. Mexican Destroyer! Penta with the Destroyer!
Then of course, out comes Seth Rollins again to take out both Andrade and Penta with a pair of stomps.
And one for Penta! This is how he wants to go about his business now.
And then Bronson Reed hits us.
The
credit should always be as loud as the criticism, and the booking of specifically Braun in this episode was great. They gave them air to breathe and showcase themselves more outside of just Rollins yapping for them.
That we are the vanguard of the destiny of WWE, and Seth freaking Rollins will then propel this entire industry into a future that is a vision all of his own.
Then when Heyman is about to say Rollins will be the reigning, defending, he's interrupted by Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso. They stare each other down ahead of Money in the Bank. Cody calls John Cena desperate and contradictory based on his actions over the last few months before Cena comes out. Then as John is getting his introduction, Logan Paul comes out of nowhere to take out Jey, and Cena saves Paul from getting hit with a crossroads.
Oh, Logan Paul! Oh! Big right hand! Lands flush on Jey Uso! Crossroads was set up and then he gets attacked!
And then they just spend the rest of this segment dog walking Jey and Cody.
Delivers on Uso! Oh no!
The overexcited
frog splash! Uso into position!
Then Cena emphatically says, no one is coming to save you this time. Then the beatdown of both men continues as the crowd starts chanting, we want truth, and Cena actually responds and works it into the promo.
And an attitude adjustment. Oh, and he does it again.
The biggest right hand in the game. You can't handle the truth.
Honestly, this is why he's the GOAT, because this was so well done. Now granted, slight overkill having them go all infinite finishes 2K14 on Cody and Jey, but hey, I think this is all leading to Roman coming back at the end of Money in the Bank to go face to face with John Cena.
Winners, write the history books.